Hi, I'm here with Russ Stevenson. He went to Princeton University and gained an AB, which is the equivalent to an English bachelor's degree. He also went to Fuller Seminary School, which is the largest seminary school in the world, and got a bachelor's in divinity. He also went back to Princeton and got a master's in theological seminary. He has worked in Louisiana at the biggest Presbyterian church in the state. Thank you for joining us, Russ. Before we explore the major ideas of the higher power and how it relates to near-death experiences, the atheist that I interviewed a month ago could have easily been you. You were an atheist for a small portion of your life. What drew you to atheism, and what was it that pulled you back to Christianity?
What drew me to atheism was some of the difficult questions that the difficulty of hell is one of the things that I struggled with.
You didn't understand how a loving God could condemn people to hell?
Yes.
How do you explain it now?
Well, the most important way that I found to deal with that was to find out what the biblical picture of hell is. And it turns out it's very varied. In other words, everyone has this picture of hell, which is a place of fire and suffering, and the preeminent picture in the New Testament and the Old Testament is a place of destruction.
Place of destruction.
Yes.
But couldn't that mean a lot of different things?
Yes.
Okay.
But the most common way hell is discussed in both the Old and the New Testament is as a place of destruction. Those hellish moments are that it's quite clear in the Bible that at the judgment there is great regret. People regret the way they lived their lives. They regret that even though they really believed there was a God, they never paid any attention to him.
Right.
Or worshipped him, or cared what he felt about them, or sought his guidance in any way.
Right.
That's, I think, a part of the background of hell. That is, in the New Testament, in particular, the idea of hell is that it is chosen. There's a sense in which hell is chosen. You want to live without God, you can live without God.
Right, but in these NDE experiences, it's described as fire and flames.
Yes, because I would see that fitting the Christian picture because it's a very unappetizing outcome. In other words, no one wants to regret how he has lived his or her own life.
Right.
And it can seem like one's whole life is destroyed, I imagine, if one goes to the judgment and says, well, I sort of thought there was a God, but I wanted to live my own life, and I didn't feel indebted to him in a perfect way, so I sort of became my own God, and really liked that a lot better than a God who had moral laws or some idea of how he wanted to guide my life.
Well, how do you explain these NDE occurrences in which they experience hell?
I would explain them as an experience in which one regrets and therefore suffers at the time of the judgment.
NDEs, to believe in an NDE or to accept your NDE, you first have to have spiritual awareness or a religious affiliation. Do you agree with that?
Sure.
Okay, and that is one of the keys. So it should be one of the things that is open for discussion and should be discussed heavily. Should it not?
Right.
Okay. Well, Russ, that's about it for now. Thank you for being on the audio tape.